All right, well, welcome back. My name's Andrew and you're watching the Kelly's Country Life. So I don't typically do reviews on the channel, but as you can see, we're building a pole barn house. So there's going to be a lot of new tools that I'm having to purchase throughout this build process. I figured I might as well do some sort of review or show those off for people that may be interested. So behind me today is going to be one of those reviews. It's going to be more of a unboxing, but not in the traditional sense. Unboxings are boring. We're going to show it in use. I'm going to give you some quick measurements and things that I could not find on the internet. I scoured through a bunch of videos before purchasing this, and the most important thing that we're going to answer today is how stable this is stacked too high. I purchased two of them today. I've done put one together, but we're going to put another one on top because it is over 16 foot to the peak of the roof inside this house that I'm building, and eventually we're going to do tongue and groove pine on part of that ceiling, and I need scaffolding to get up to it, as well as a single section of scaffolding is going to be awesome for all the 8 and 10 and 12 foot work that I'm doing as well. So let's put them together. Let me give you some quick measurements. Like I said, some things that I did not see on YouTube that I think will really help you out. So for starters, one thing I never see people do on YouTube is give you the dimensions of the box. A lot of people don't own trucks. A lot of people have SUVs and cars, so it'd be nice for you to know if this will fit in your vehicle, if you can even go pick it up. So I'll start by giving you those dimensions. The box is 30 inches wide by a little over 74 inches long. And if you need the width, right about 6 inches. So hopefully that'll help you figure out if you can go pick this up in your SUV or car. It does look like it'll probably fit in most, especially if you lay a seat down. I think you can get it to fit in most vehicles. Now it's heavy. It took two people to load it up in the truck. I'm gonna guess it's somewhere between 80 and 100 pounds. You can go look up all the specs on harborfreight.com, but I brought it out here with a tractor. I can manhandle it myself, but I'm just letting you know it's better to have two people for this. Now once it's set up on the wheels, it's a breeze. You can push it around with one hand, no problem. So I'm going to unbox this real quick. I'm not going to bore you with that. I'm going to show you a few little tips on putting it together that I've found helpful now that I've done put one together. And then the most important thing, we're going to look at working heights of this, and we're going to put two of them together and see how safe it is. Now if you find videos like this useful, this would be an awesome time to subscribe to the channel and hit that thumbs up down there. Show that you like these videos. I'll be showing this particular set of scaffolding off a lot throughout this house build, along with a bunch of other tools. All right, so putting that first one together, I've noticed the one thing you absolutely don't want to do is put your wheels on first. Even though you have wheel locks, it makes it difficult to assemble everything. So there's kind of two ways to put it together that's somewhat stable. One, you can go ahead and put your main support on the ground like this, kind of build everything together and then tip it up. That worked okay. The other way I found was to just go ahead and put it together in the upright position like this, one piece at a time. But the key is, do not put the wheels on, because that makes it kind of just want to tip over on you. So it goes together really easy with these pins right here. They've even got, you know, built-in bar right here where you can kind of easily clamp, and it just snaps right on. Really quick and easy design. Couple quick pins here and here on either side. Once you get it where you want on the height, we'll move all that in a minute. Now it's got these locking pins right here that hold the top down that sits flush inside. You can just pick those up out of the way and we'll lay the top in. There's a pin over there, one right here. Now the only permanent part of this whole process is actually bolting this top that I just put in to the side rails. So you will have to remove these if you want to make this movable down the road, because it kind of sandwiches everything in. I guess unless you pulled all the pins at the same time, which would be impossible to slid it off the top. But I plan on this staying out here for quite a while now. Now you can still adjust the height up and down with this bolted in. You just can't take it all apart like if you're going to transport it in a truck. All right, so that is one assembled scaffolding. It takes 5 minutes, very simple. All you have to do now, if you want to adjust it up and down, is pull these 4 pins that's at the corners. And I just get underneath, pinch both of these right here in these locks, and you can let it up or down. All right, so we'll get some quick measurements off of one, since a lot of you will be buying one, and check the stability of it. Then I'm going to disassemble this one, take the wheels off, kind of take this back out, and I'm going to put 2 of them together, since that's the main way that I'll be using it out here. We'll check stability there. All right, I have both of these set up in 2 different configurations. In my mind, this is going to be much top heavier, more wobbly, and there's less support down here locking the legs in like this one. So I kind of want to see this at its almost max. I think it can go up 1 more click, and then something a little more realistic that we all may work on. So I've got all the casters locked, and just for curiosity, top of this platform is 45 inches off the ground. This one is almost at max, and it's 69 1/4 inches off the ground. Looks like it'll run right to about 70 inches off the ground if I went up that last click. So let's check some stability right here. Just for reference, I'm 5'10" and a little over 200 pounds. So one thing I noticed earlier when climbing up the side, if I were to lean way back, and I mean way back, I can start to get this to tip over. There it goes. Now let's be honest, the majority of us are not going to be climbing like that. We're going to be up close. It feels very good and sturdy like this. All right, so as far as stability goes, yeah, it's a little wobbly, but I could see myself being comfortable working on this, even all the way up here at its max setting. And chances are, you're probably working near a wall, so that kind of makes me feel a little better. If I were to be working up here on the roof, this feels good. So let's just see what realistic work height would be. Again, I'm 5'10". I've got this almost at max height if you're looking at one piece of scaffolding. So if I was working somewhere right about here, that feels about as far as I think I could work. So let's see what you can realistically reach. "13 feet is what I think I could comfortably reach and work. So that's something I don't see a lot of people answer. What's your max work height? Well, 13 feet with one looks good. Again, I've got to go up to 16 feet, and in my shop, all my lights and wiring are around 15 feet, so I've had to rent scaffold before. That's why I knew I wanted to go ahead and get this. Again, I can work on this okay. It's not the world's most stable, but if you're okay with heights, this works. Let's check this one out. I have a feeling it's going to be a lot more stable. So this does feel more stable, no doubt, and it should. Much lower center of gravity here. It doesn't feel quite as wobbly, and I know this is because this is supporting the legs better. The platform feels plenty sturdy. It's got reinforcements underneath. I don't feel like it's bowing or giving on me, and these things are rated for 900 pounds single stack, 750 pounds double stack. Way more load than I'll ever put on them. Now this is an 8-foot wall right here, so if you were working on 8-foot ceilings in a kind of standard size house, you wouldn't need it nowhere near this high. Looks like I could comfortably work up to probably 11 feet right here on this setting. So all the way up to 13 feet, I think is a comfortable working height for a single one of these. I can tell you this sure is going to be the ladder. I can get so much more work done now when I start doing all this strapping. I wish I had this when I was doing all the blocking. All right, now to the part that I'm most curious about. Let's take some time, put 2 of them together, and see how stable that is. That's where I have a feeling it's going to get a little sketchy. All right, that was relatively easy to break the other one down. Just took 2 or 3 minutes. All right, so the manual showed this bottom one almost all the way down, and that makes sense for good leg support. And I am not going all the way to the max. I think that's asking a bit much of this. And I can already tell the way that these two connect together, there's a lot of wobble in there, which this is gonna help take care of that. But going all the way to the top seems a bit risky. I'm needing to get 16 feet in here. That doesn't look like that's gonna be a problem. Some of y'all may be curious about 20 feet. I don't think that's gonna be a problem either. So we'll stretch it out a little bit, and I'm not going to the top. We'll get you a quick measurement and let you know what it would be if you went to the top. Now in this particular instance, it might be better to have a really tall ladder that you climb up and get on the top. I don't have one quite that tall, and I believe I'm already going to have this another level or two higher to reach the very peak of my roof. But let's get up there where it's at, test the stability before I do any moving. So it feels more stable now that there's a lot more weight on this as far as tipping this direction goes. So it's a little wobbly, no doubt about that. I could work up here if I have something to hang on to. It's definitely toward the upper limit for my comfort. All right, so I know to this point right here is 16.5 feet. I'm right about 16 foot that I could work right now. Now it looks like I still have 2 more foot of adjustment here. I'm just not so sure that I would ever work with this adjusted all the way up. So it looks like realistically 18 foot range is probably where you could work off of this scaffold if you went all the way to the top. I just don't know that I would recommend it. But I have something else coming that should make this more stable. I'll tell you all about it in just a second. And obviously if you're up this high, you should really be wearing a harness and tying off. But let's face it, there's a lot of open area where you can't tie off with one of these. And I got to thinking one other thing that you could do for stability is if you had like some heavy sacks of something, whether it's sand, concrete, cinder blocks, some lifting weights, anything like that. If you were to put a bunch of weight dead center, 50, 100, 200 pounds, with this low center of gravity down here on this shelf, I think it would really, really help with stability up there. All right, so what I was talking about when I was up there to really help with stability, I got on Amazon, and I'll include a link below, and found stabilizers for this. They actually say they're for a different brand, but if you read the reviews, a lot of people say they fit perfectly on this set of scaffolding right here. Because let's face it, there's lots of different names on products like this. A lot of them are made in the same warehouse. So what it is outriggers or stabilizers with triangle-shaped metal bars that go to more wheels, and they space out 14 inches on either side. So that makes this over 2 foot wider. It's going to really help with stability and potential tipping over. I knew that's something I wanted. If I'm going to sit here and work on this double stack like this, there's no doubt I'm going to want those stabilizers out there. So as soon as they come in, I'll put them on. If you're curious about that, just keep checking back in with the videos. You'll see me working on it. But initial thoughts, hey, Harbor Freight is not known for quality tools. And when it comes to scaffolding, something that's going to potentially get you hurt if you don't use it right, I was a bit hesitant to buy there, but the reviews were outstanding. This was like 4.5 out of 5 stars with over 1,000 reviews. The few websites I went to and checked, everybody says this is absolutely worth the money. Sadly, you don't really find the coupons much anymore. I talked with a guy at the counter today and he said the coupons are kind of disappearing, and these just jumped up quite a bit in price, I hate to say. I still think they're good value, but steel's going through the roof right now. All building materials are in this country. And let's face it, this has wood and steel in it, so costs went up with that. I still think it's worth it. It's going to help me out tremendously on this project. And for the majority of the 10 and 12 foot building and down to where I don't even really need to double stack, this thing is going to be plenty sturdy enough, and it sure beats a ladder. Let's face it, when you have this full walkway right here that you can put tools on and work a big section of something, whether it's molding or tongue and groove pine, sheetrock, whatever it is, this is going to be an absolute lifesaver for me. Now, I'm curious if I can get up another foot, which I need to get all the way to the peak of the roof and be comfortable with those stabilizers, but only time will tell with that. And I see where some of the slop is in the fitment, and it's designed to go up and down. There has to be some slop there. But I'm thinking a couple well-placed bolts could really shore this thing up, snug it up. If you know you're going to be doing a lot of double stack work, I don't mind taking an extra 5 minutes and bolting some of these sections together instead of using pins. I think that'll really help it. So I've still got a little bit of playing to do there. If you have any questions, that's what the comment section's for. Don't forget to drop a comment down there. And again, if you like these videos, subscribe to the channel, hit that little thumbs up, and as I use this, good or bad, whatever I find out about it, I'll be sure to let you know. Thanks for watching.